Hello everyone, welcome to my Let's Play. This is Andrew T coming at you. Today we're playing Sunless Sea. This is a Let's Replay channel, which basically means it's a Let's Play, it's a Let's Review, and it's a replay of most of the games I've played before. Every once in a while we'll get a new game in there that I haven't played and I'll get my first impressions, but this is mostly games I enjoyed or actually good games and I can talk over and review. So today we're playing Sunless Sea. It's a very laid-back game. I'd recommend anyone pick it up because it has elements of action, RPG, some strategy, roguelike above all though. So the best way to introduce it basically to jump right in, so we're just going to start a new game. I have it on basically just one save right now, which is the way you should play it. They came out with the expansion recently for the Undersea, but this is just the original at this point, and we're going to be starting from the very beginning. So the story, the only thing you have to worry about is 100 years ago, London was kidnapped and in the Victorian era, and now it's been 100 miles under the earth in its own sea, and it's steampunky kind of thing. Wars happen. There's different sorts of creatures, and you're just trying to make your way. So I'm gonna go ahead and choose a past because it's the easiest way to get started. I have a room in London called the Blind Helmsman, and this basically gives you the bonuses you're going to get depending on what background you choose. Urchin gives you bonus to Veils. Let's see, Veils basically has to do with attack range, and it has some to do with the choices you get whenever you're at different ports. Let's see, the next one's the Pages. Pages increase the speed at which you convert fragments to secrets. Another thing that mostly do with the ports when you exchange that. Iron is a direct damage, so whenever you're attacking anything out in the sea, you're going to want this pretty much if you're starting a brand new game. Just for the fact that a lot of stuff out there can kill you, and it's really expensive to fix your boat if it's below 50%. The other one is a Hearts. Hearts, it helps with terror. I'll get to that in a second. Terror basically goes up as your food and fuel go down as you're on the sea. Even if you're sitting in port, your food goes up, or your food goes down. And the last one is the Mirrors. Mirrors, basically your combat solution, think of it as a clock where it goes from 12 and then around to 12 again. If it gets all around to 12, then that means you have 100% ability to hit whoever you're aiming at. If it gets to the 50% point, then you can fire, but you only have 50% chance to hit, and then it goes up all the way till you get to the 12 o'clock point again, where it has a 100% chance. So if you're down to one hit point and you have to fire before the other guy, sometimes you have to make a choice. Anyway, we're going to go with the veteran of the campaign of 68. You fought in the invasion of hell. London's army is lost. Told you, this is has a lot of different things going on. You survived. Your loot and your pension have bought you a command. So I'm going to go with that one. Let's see. Now Z Captain. That's what they call it. They call it the Z, not the C. So you always get the mascot at the beginning. He gives you 1 hearts. This is the Shady Cook. You get him whenever you choose that backstory. Gives you another heart. So a little bit less terror. Alright. And then you get 20 additional Echo. I got now 70. That's your money. Got 25 new iron, which no total 50, so basically double the attack if you have to attack or defend yourself. There's my cook, and I got an additional passage there for a quest. So continue. Now these are the quests you can choose as your overall quest. The first one's your father's bones, basically self-explanatory. You got to find and bring it back to the place of rest. That is the easiest one to start, because the others are more for long game players, like gather 100 tails, write a masterpiece and retire. That takes a lot of effort. You gotta basically almost 100% the game to do that, from what I understand. I have not beat the game yet. I've gotten pretty far, but I enjoyed it so much I thought I'd do a Let's Replay on it. And then wealth, you know how it is to be poor, mansion, servants, finer clothes, a family perhaps. So some of the stuff you have to wait for, or it can just be lucky where you get a family. So that one's more for long players as well, where you're just going around trying to make money. And then the other one, Absolute Ruler. Yeah, I'm guessing that's an island somewhere where you take over, but right now the easiest one to start with is your father's bones, so we're going with that one. Alright, find where he fell and bring him home. You found your father's bones, you can retire to victory. Explore fallen London to find your first clue. Alright, this gives you a choice of what you want to be called and basically what gender if you want to be or not want to be. So, you know, female, male, citizen, either or, my lord, you know, male, my lady, female, and captain. I like going with captain just because it's generic. And I just like to be called captain. Yeah, this is the thing. Captain will probably die. Z is hungry. But if you played it before, it's in like any other roguelike, you get to know kind of the way the game works. So this way, when I'm playing through this, you won't be able to just see me die over and over and start over multiple times. I can actually get decently far unless I get really unlucky and then just have to die. And I'll probably end my Let's Replay right there. But we're going to get as far as we can, or if it gets to the point where I'm just spending half the Let's Replay just going from place to place, I'll probably stop the series there too, because you'll have a pretty good idea. Alright, and then here's your portrait. I'll go with the diver. My name. Accept. Alright, here we go. Dark Spectacle Admiral. I talk really fast when it comes to this stuff because if you want to, you can always pause it and read it yourself. But for the purposes of this, I'm just going to go through it. 1 week ago, the Admiral grew incautious after bringing too many in the Parthenaeum Club. He made reference to your father's deplorable end and expressed his regret that he had not prevented it. You are now a member of the Parthenaeum Club, but their head waiter once served in your regiment, so you meet your friend, the head waiter, and learn that the Admiral has not returned since. Perhaps he regrets his outspokenness. You have to find him in his lair at the Admiralty. And then you get your little mini quest there. Alright, so we'll start from top to bottom. First is your lodgings. This is actually a commodity. Recent news, you can go to different ports and exchange it or use it to get into places or trade for certain favors or items. It just depends on where you go and what the options are. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. In the marketplace, increase its tax on love stories. Empress has prevented seeing the streets outside her palace. Anarchists of the Calendar Council have explicitly dynamite a drinking fountain. There's a lot of wacky stuff that goes on here, but it is really cool to read through some of it. Not as much as maybe a Shadowrun series, but a decent amount. Mystery Public Decency is located in destroyed nests of gallbladder wasp. Okay, basically, after you read through it once or twice, you can kind of skip over it at that point. This is all the stuff you can unlock later. It'll show you what you need to unlock it next to it. Elegant Townhouse is Seaside Mansion, so don't have that. You need 10 Echo to get to rest above your inn, but you need to at least go out once, so you can't just rest right in the beginning. Alright. That's the townhouse. That's going to cost you 1,000 Echo. So that's a lot of money. And retire for seafaring life. You can do that any time, but if you've ever played Pirates or Sid Meier's Pirates, a remake recently, it's kind of the same thing. If you want to end your game, you can anytime. You can retire, but you may not like what you retire to. So back to the rest of the city. We could visit the Admiralty's survey office, but at this point there's no need to. He basically tells you go to the port, get a report of the board of port you go to or town, and then bring it back. You get some fuel and a favor for the Admiralty if you do it one time. Afterwards, when you go back out, if you visit the port again and come back, you can get some fuel from it and some cash, but you won't get a favor anymore. You need 3 favors in order to get your first clue. So you're going to have to go out and come back before you do anything in this game. Alright, the university, unlock that after you get a couple different things that they're looking for. The Wolfstack docks, sometimes you can, some things will happen here. Romance, family things. It just depends. It depends how lucky you are. So, 80% chance something good will happen, 20% chance maybe your tarot goes up. I don't know. It's random. If you need more crew, you can. I have 8 out of 10. I'm pretty good right now. I don't need to hire any more. If you need to repair your ship, you can do that. Offer passage to a tomb colonist. This is always here, as far as I've seen from the very first mission. Venderbride is straight north. There's always a landmass on the left of the map, and the rest of the Z on the right of the map. And the islands, it's procedurally generated, so the island shifts slightly, but you can pretty much know almost where everything is if you've played it a couple times before. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, because it's really easy to just go straight up and then come right back down and turn in all this stuff for all the ports you've gone to and to drop this guy off. Alright, so out of that, let's see. In this one, the passenger, looking to go to Venderbride. So 2 missions with 1 stone. Go ahead and prove that. She embraces you, I kiss you, but love is prone to jealousy. You're part up, but the ancient captains of Venebrite will know where she is. Oh, so she and she. So, like I said, this game is pretty open on what you want to do or where you want to go. Next thing I'm going to show you is the shipyard. This is your ship you start out with. It's your basic boat. For whatever reason, if you want to sell it and get something crappier, you could go down to this. I don't know why, but when you look at the information, you are not even a glass cannon, you are glass. So you get hit once with anything. You don't have any hold capacity for food. You have hardly any room for crew. It's just, I don't know why it's there. I don't know why anyone would ever have it. But then you can get additional higher class ships and boats. Frigate, dreadnought. Oh, it's a dream right there. 30,000 echoes. Ooh. Then the shops. The first thing you do every time you start a game, sell your advice for captains. After you play through it once, you don't need to read through it again. It gets up for 50 echo, and you're going to want that to buy additional supplies at least, because you want these two pretty close for the fuel and your supplies, because it's not the same rate, but it's pretty close on how they decay, and this way you know exactly what to expect if you're going out anywhere, or if you need extra fuel or extra supplies to buy something or get something, then it's always good to have extra. And then anything you pick up, any random piece of treasure you may have, you can always sell here on your travels. Or, I don't know what ports you could sell it at other than this. That may give you a better deal. I don't know if it's a lot or little. Either way, I'm not really that interested in it. But it is an option in the game. Next one. These are your weapons and additional things you could put on your ship if you have the capacity for it. This is the one you already have. It's a deck weapon. So basic, it's only 50 bucks. I already have one. The thing is though, when you look at your ship, this is your deck, auxiliary, bridge, and engines. I only have one gun and my engines. So when you're going back to the shops and you're looking at all this stuff, this is a deck gun. It says right there in green. You go down one, it's like, oh, this one's better. I'll buy it. No, it's a forward weapon. You cannot put this on the ship at the beginning because you do not have that. You only have auxiliary, bridge, deck, and engines. If you bought this and sold your other weapon and tried to replace it, if you don't have enough money to get your gun back, that's it. You got to start over. And if you don't have the money to get your weapon back, you are a sitting duck. So, just a word of advice. Anything you're upgrading, make sure you have room for it in your hold. Next thing, a little bit more exotic weapons. You'll be able to read through these on your own. Next, the engines. The better engines is better speed, which is good to get you around. Like I have 800 for engine power. Then it goes up to 1,000. Then 1,500, 2,000, and 2,500. Thing is, the more powerful the engine, the more fuel it burns. So if you're trying to put this on, a little dinghy, then you're going to burn through fuel pretty fast. Last one is your light. Your light you want to keep on to discover any new islands or ports. The only thing is, though, the more you have your light on, the faster it uses up your fuel. So I have the most basic light. This is it. Anything farther than that, you get a little bit of a seesaw motion that you get a little bit worse in Veils until you get to the last two where it's just positive, but you don't get as much if you don't have a negative to go along with it. So other than that, the officers, like I said, you can pick up these guys sometimes at different ports. I got the cook because of my backstory. He gets the additional hearts one, which is less terror, so it goes up. Journal, that's anything you want. And here's your main quest. Objectives. Tomb Colonists. These are all your little missions here if you ever want to see it. And then story if you ever want to go back to what you can do in the city you're in. So that's it for the intro at this point for the city. Now just real quick, I'm going to move this over here because if I get out of it, it's automatically going to start having this go up for my food and have my food go down and my crew start eating. So this is your ship. This is the docks. This is London. So if you want to launch, you press E. Down here, everything's labeled, so you can always pause, and resume by spacebar. Keep your lights on and off. I would, like I said, keep them off if you want to conserve fuel by L. Z-Bats, Z. Repair ship. If you can take a couple of hits but you're above 50%, you can always just use R to repair. That way you don't have to spend a ton of money on it. Full power to the engines is double-edged sword. It can get you out of some firefights, but your engines can explode and then get your hull down to below 50%. And then you have to go dry dock and fix it. That's basically what's going on in the world. It brings back up this option right here. M is a map. It stops everything. It pauses whenever you go to the map. It doesn't have you keep on going. I think for this game, it's kind of annoying because you have the fog of war, and sometimes it doesn't count if you try to clip the edge of a square of a fog of war. You have to go right down the middle of it, because you have to keep on pressing M to see, okay, where am I at? Am I on the right heading? It can get a little bit tedious, but it's a pretty chill game. Alright, this is going to do it for my first intro to Sunless Sea. Hope y'all enjoyed it. Next time we'll be going out for our first mission. This is Andrew T. Signing off. Y'all have a good one.